The 2019 Canada election, invented in Shut Up. Oh boy, it's that time of the half decade again, the time where we're all summoned to a local church or school to pick our favorite color, and this time around we've got quite a diverse array of colors to choose from, either brown, white, black, woman, French, or whiter. I know most of my viewership comes from south of the 49, and you guys probably have little understanding of your own political structure, let alone anyone else's, so allow me to briefly explain the layout of Canadian politics before we really get into it. At the very top you have, of course, the Queen, the all-powerful, all-seeing overlord of our domain. But she's getting pretty old, her vision ain't what it used to be, and she lives all the way over there. So in her place to pass judgment in person is the Governor General, and beneath them they enlist a bunch of Lieutenant Governor Generals to do the work they don't want to do, who in turn enlist a small army of Major Governor Generals to pass the workload on to. This pyramid scheme continues until everyone in Canada is a Governor General of some sort, whose jurisdiction encompasses at least their physical being and maybe like a 2.5 meter radius around them. This pyramid of make-believe power has the responsibility of keeping an eye on and relaying information back to the Queen about the inner workings of the local government, starting with the position that this video is all about, the Prime Minister, or just PM if you want to save time, or Primary Administrator if you want to waste time. The Prime Minister is like the President, except they have a cooler title. Beneath the Prime Minister, you have a long series of sub-Prime Ministers, including the Premiers, who are voted on in similar fashion to the PM and represent the provinces and territories. If you missed it, I made a video about Ontario's Premier election last year, you know, in case you're interested in that kind of thing. Then there's the War Chiefs, who enlist and maintain the standing militia of each region. They are not voted on. In order to be ousted, they must be bested in combat by someone else vying for the position. There's also the 7 Wardens, who control membership of the secret society of engineers in Canada, known as the Iron Ring. No vote on this one either. Members of the High Council are selected from within their own ranks. These ministers, and many others of different prime levels, all work together to make Canada's government a well-oiled machine of efficiency. Oh, fuck. So anyway, as is customary with any election, let's take a look back at the previous administration, see how they did. Eh. The election festivities begin in earnest with the ceremonial intra-party cancelling, where each party goes down its list of members, finds the ones that are so detrimental that they cancel them on their own before the public, or even worse, a different party can do so. Hate the gays? Cancelled. Calling Benjamin Netanyahu literally Hitler? Cancelled. Used to be a communist? Almost cancelled, but your higher-ups are watching you. Demanding that some guy denounce some other guy because he allegedly lit his ex-wife on fire? What? Cancelled. Exposed political interference with the justice system? Cancelled. Asked your party leader if they could try to please be less racist? Cancelled. However, some problematic problems can't be accounted for so easily. For example, one of the biggest threats to a potential Conservative Party victory is one of the sub-prime ministers who is actually rather high up on the prime ladder. It's the Premier of Ontario, who is also a Conservative. The Premier is so astonishingly unpopular, the Conservatives' odds of winning increase when he shuts the fuck up for a few days. His unpopularity is easily explained. No one likes it when a politician doesn't keep their election promises, and our boy Dougie Ford over here broke a big one. Mr. Ford promised to bring down the price of alcohol to $1 a beer, but I walked into the LC recently, and a can of Rolling Rock was like $3 fucking. Ridiculous. It's gotten so bad that 2 months before Election Day, Andrew Scheer was already blaming a Conservative loss on Doug Ford. I have never seen a more preemptive under-bus throwing in my life. He threw him under the bus, and the Conservatives aren't even certain that a bus is coming yet. Alright, let's get to the meat of this video and go through the major parties partaking in this election one by one and painstakingly discuss their policies and platforms. Actually, you know what? There's a lot of words here, and I'm not particularly interested in reading any of them. So instead, let's just look at their campaign slogans. That'll tell us all we need to know. A campaign slogan is like an executive summary of an election campaign. I have a second cousin, once removed, who is currently studying political science. Trust me, I know these things. Choose forward. I don't like that. You're not telling me enough. Let's check their French slogan. Choisissez d'avancer. That's just the same thing again. We're off to a bad start. It's time for you to get some head. Well, shit, I can agree with that. State enforced girlfriends incoming? Didn't expect that from the Conservative Party. It's very, Marxist of them. In it for you. Aw, that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. Not left, not right. I just want to protect the environment for God's sake. Take the green pill, rise above it all. Le Québec, c'est nous. Now, my understanding of French is pretty rough, but I'll try to translate this. The Quebec is no. I agree. Strong and free. Okay, I mean, hey, wait a minute. That's just a piece of a line from the national anthem. You can't fucking do that. That's plagiarism or something. Let me check your French slogan real quick. I got a feeling it's gonna be, oh, yeah, I thought so. Do better, Maxime. Well, that didn't really help at all, but that's okay. The party's policies don't actually matter. Democracy is not about voting for the party you feel would best serve the nation as a whole. It's about voting for who you stand the most out of these options. So let's take a look at the leaders individually, analyze their character flaws, and see if we can narrow down our options. Andrew Scheer is a sleeper agent working for the American government whose mission entails becoming the Prime Minister of Canada, then cooperating with the US to facilitate America's annexation of Canada. So that's not good. Justin Trudeau. Yeah, so that's not good. Jagmeet Singh is not Tom Mulcair, so that's good, but he's also not Jack Layton, so that's not good. Yves St. Lawrence. Okay, look, I know I joke a lot about Quebec, but come on, I need you guys to be a part of Canada. I can't cheer for a hockey team that's outside of Canada, and I'm not interested in picking a new favorite team, but Mr. St. Lawrence is a Quebec separatist. If he gets into power, I may lose one of the few things I legitimately enjoy. So that's not good. Elizabeth May uses disposable cups instead of reusable ones, despite being the leader of the Green Party. You literally have one identity you're expected to stick to, and you can't even do that. So that's not good. And Maxime Bernier. So that's not good. Well, we certainly narrowed down our options, went all the way from 6 to 0. I'm at a loss. These options are all not good. And I guess I'll just tweet out a straw poll to figure out who I should vote for. Again. And now, a word from some of my patrons. Eitz Kodal. If we get a good PM, we can at least count on global warming and late-stage capitalism to stick around. Oh no, don't mind me, just gonna have my mental breakdown since we're headed straight towards inevitable human collapse. Lamal, well, it's not like all that's wrong with the world could have been avoided. What would we do if the rich couldn't satisfy themselves? Can't have that now. Empress Mermaid. Y'all Canadians in your elections are so cute. Simply adorable. Kilogallon. This video is supported by the Canadian hive mind. We think so you don't have to. Lord Huguenot. Lord Huguenot's daily advice. To my kin of the Earth Mother, there's no shame in dating a trans person. Just don't be a transphobic asshole about it and everything will be crispo. Unless you are a level 78 third job incel knight, then you probably want to reconsider your life values. This message was sponsored by the Mick P. Pants Foundation. Thank you, base spider god. Nathan. Is it racist to dress up as Trudeau in blackface for Halloween? Kurami-san. I still can't wrap my head around how much of a maple-scented dumpster fire that CBC debate was. Thomas. Let's make this shit wholesome. Love yourself. Improve yourself. Happiness comes from you and only you. It ain't all good, but it's all good enough. You'll be alright. Don't be an incel.